Shelby Houlihan, welcome back to the Running Effect podcast. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I think
Awesome.
fourth time's a charm here. I think this is the
Yeah.
fourth time on the podcast. Um, yeah, I'm super excited for our conversation today. I told you before hitting the record button, I fully expect people to listen to this who do not like you and do not like me as a result of me having you on here. So we're just going to fully embrace it and fully embrace it today. First question for it. You're coming back. You're coming back, baby, like 4 months from now. How do you
Yeah.
feel?
Oh my gosh. So many different emotions. One, I feel very excited. Just like I don't know, it's cool to kind of look back and be like, all right, I made it. I made it through that. And I'm excited to get back into it. Get back to doing what I love to do, where I feel like the most me and at home. Also nervous, obviously. Like I don't know how I'm going to be received, and there's some anxiety there with that. But I feel like I've done a lot of work on myself to just prepare as much as I can. So I feel prepared to handle kind of whatever comes up, but you never know until you're like in that moment. But no, I mean, really, I'm just like, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back into it.
This could be because you're pretty public with your training and like on Strava, and people can see that, and maybe other people who have tested positive and gotten banned from the sport like either weren't distance runners or weren't on Strava, but
Mhm.
people can clearly see that you've put in some ridiculous work over the past few years, and you've been very open about like continuing to train through this all. In my mind, that just gives you more kudos to why you would be clean, because I feel like most people would just be depressed and stop in the sport. But revisiting a question I'm sure I asked you on previous editions, like what was the decision to keep going and to give yourself a chance when 3 years ago, in your mind it was, oh my gosh, I can't do anything for 3 years. Why even continue?
Oh, yeah. I feel like that question is so like there's so many different variables involved. I think it's been really difficult to want to keep going, and the motivation hasn't always been there. I feel like I have goals for myself. I knew I wanted to come back, and so like I don't know. I guess the motivation was just like, all right, I'm gonna prepare for 4 years from now, I guess, and just trying to be disciplined in that, even when it hasn't been fun. And that's been really difficult to get out the door every day. And there's definitely been times where it's just like I'm not having fun with this anymore. Like almost like why am I doing this? I think another thing, really, the biggest thing is like I guess to kind of like go back to it, my boyfriend was clearly watching me just train really hard, not enjoying it. I like dreaded getting out the door. I dreaded doing workouts. And if you know me, like that's so unlike me. I love workout days. I'm like, this is so much fun. And he's like, why? Like, you don't have to do this. You can stop. Like, you don't have to keep training. And I replied back, like, I can't stop because if I stop, then I'm no one and I feel like I have nothing. And so I think when I heard myself say that, I was like, ooh, I need to maybe go figure that out a little bit. So that, I mean, that was a huge part in me continuing to keep training and keep running because I like, that was my identity. And that was like everything that I had ever known and felt like my purpose in life. And so when it was taken away, it was just like, I don't know what else to do. Um, and I realized that was not like that's not the healthiest thing. And so it did take someone kind of pointing that out for me to be like maybe I need to work on myself a little more and find more meaning in my life than just running. But yeah, that was for a while a huge reason why I continued training. I didn't know what else to do, and now I feel like I've kind of overcome that a bit, which is good. But yeah, I mean, now I'm really just I've been trying to make it as fun as I can, and finding joy in it, the best that I can. But yeah, it's been hard to want to get out the door every day and do it, but I have big goals for myself. I still feel like I have a lot to prove. And so that drive, I guess, is still there to I don't know. I feel like if I take time off, then I'm almost letting people like get an advantage over me. So I, I don't want that to happen either. So I'm just been trying to train, and I want to give myself the best opportunity to come back and come back swinging. So yeah.
Comparing this kind of the start of fall cycle heading into the winter to like the past year or two, do you feel like there has been a mindset shift now that you mentally know you can race off of it? And what is the mindset of Shelby Houlihan on September 20th, like a few months removed from a race? Whereas last year, like I know you were still putting in ridiculous weeks and whatnot, but you knew in the back of your head that you couldn't really do anything about it or capitalize on that fitness.
Yeah, I guess like as it gets closer, I think the mindset is to try to be patient right now. I do have like big goals for myself. I really want to just like January come out and like make a statement. But I'm also trying to also give myself the grace of like it might be a transition back just as it was a transition into like being banned, right? Like training by myself, doing all these things, trying to learn how to like overcome a lot of that stuff. So it could be a transition back. I don't know how I'm going to be received. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I haven't raced in 4 years, so it's like getting back into that racing, like that sharpness. Is it going to still be there? I'm really trying to have patience with my training and like not getting too ahead of myself, too excited too early. I don't want to hurt myself, obviously. I want to big picture be out the world championships in next September. So yeah, I mean, I think the mindset really is the like continue having fun with it, trying to be patient, getting the most out of myself, and trying to put myself in the best position that I can to have just a good year next year.
Is it weird to think that 365 days from now, we could be having a conversation about you having won a US title, made a world team, I'll say it, medaling? Like, is that weird to even think about? I mean, it's just like time has flown by, but it's also probably felt like an eternity, and you're finally here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's I don't know. I guess I haven't even like thought that far ahead yet, but or even like hearing that I'm like that's really exciting. I'm really really looking forward to a year from now and seeing maybe what I was able to do with this next year. Hopefully it's all good things, but yeah, I it's crazy how 4 years has kind of been it's drug on, it's moved slowly, but at the same time it's like, oh man, it's already been 4 years, you know? So it's like a little bit of both, but I'm I'm really mostly just excited to be excited about running again. And like I said, I feel like I've made the most of the situation and I've tried to make it as fun as possible, trying to find joy in it. But I'm really excited to like it not be this like curated forced thing, you know? I'm really excited. Just be excited for workout day and go work out with my friends.
Do you have a chip on your shoulder? And if so, how big is it? And like, I just want to have a general discussion and look into your brain of like, I'll just put myself in your shoes. If I was in your shoes,
Yeah.
I'd probably be pissed all the time. It would probably like fuel my workouts like crazy. I'm sure at some point it would burn me out and it wouldn't be sustainable. But like, how much are those negative comments and the people who didn't believe in you, how much is that fueling this comeback? Whether it's healthy or unhealthy, I'm just curious, selfishly.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good question. I think it I used that as some motivation in the first couple of years. Um, and it just wasn't sustainable for me. Like I run so much better when I'm having fun and really enjoying where I'm at and finding joy in it. I found that when I was really trying to like tap into that like hate and anger, that I would not have like the mental resiliency to get through workouts, or I don't know, I just it was really difficult for me to like find that as a source of motivation. Um and I do have like I have a chip on my shoulder for sure. I want to like go out and light it on fire. Just, try to break every record that I can. I feel like I do have a lot to prove and I want to prove what I can with the time I have left. But yeah, I think my biggest focus is not on people's opinion of me or negative aspects. It's more just like I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna put too much stock into what people think about me. I know that, I know I didn't cheat, and I know who I am as a person, and I'm gonna just be solid in that, and I'm gonna go have a good time and do what I do.
The conversation I've had with friends or just people in the running community, as someone who fully supports and believes in you, like I just want to see you win a U.S. title for many reasons, but I can't even imagine the reaction from some people, like, and just going back to stuff that people have said, or yeah, I don't necessarily want to fuel unhealthy resentment here, but I feel like it'd be icing on the cake to see you win one.
Yeah, no, that'd be like super exciting, honestly. Like, yeah, I don't really pay much attention to, like, honestly, I haven't really been in the track world too much. Like, I follow some stuff, but like I honestly don't know what people are saying about me or what they aren't saying about me. I'm pretty like I just try to like ignore all of that because it doesn't like really matter. So yeah, I mean, it will be interesting. It'll be fun. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of mixed reviews for sure, but it is what it is. People are going to have their opinions of me, and most of those opinions, like, I don't know, I read or I listened to something. It was a quote that was like, allow other people to just be wrong about you. And so I really liked that. And it was just like, yeah, I mean, if they don't know me, if they're not going to take the time to get to know me, to get to know the details of my case, then like, do their opinions really matter of me? Like, probably not. So yeah, but it'll be fun.
I think something I'm excited to see is, and I think this is a thing a lot of people don't realize about our podcast we did with each other right after the ban, like the first conversation you did since the ban, was we had a relationship before that. You had been on the podcast. We had talked back and forth during your ban. And I was like one of the only people, it seemed like, who had reached out to have you on the podcast. It wasn't this massive coordinated, Shelby's going to take advantage of Dominic because he believes in her type situation. And the cool thing I think about coming back into the sport is every race you're going to be at, there will be reporters, there will be mix zones. And it's probably your first chance in a while to talk to some of these news outlets and some of these bigger names and actually share some of the facts of your story, some of the facts of
Hmm.
things you're feeling, because you haven't had that opportunity over the past few years. Have you thought about that at all in terms of like, yeah, if you make the world championships, you're probably going to get to talk to NBC, and that hasn't happened, or just like other running news outlets.
Yeah, no, that has kind of crossed my mind. Like, it's interesting because you go from, like, I was running really well, and I felt like really starting to scratch the surface of like what I felt like I was capable of. And then this happened, and like it 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 makes you realize like how irrelevant you really are. Like, at some point, whenever I'm done running, um, people aren't going to talk about me anymore, and like, I don't know, it's like it's very humbling, I guess, and in a I don't mean for this to be like morbid, but like it doesn't like really matter what I do. Like, I can accomplish everything that I want, but at some point no one's going to remember who I am, which is fine. But like, yeah, I think the last 4 years, yeah, I haven't really talked too much about what I've gone through. I've kind of stayed, not like intentionally stayed quiet, but it takes energy to like go out and talk about it and spread, like tell my story, I guess. And I hope to take, like, as I begin to race more, I hope that I can take advantage of those opportunities to talk about what I've gone through and bring some awareness around just some, I guess, ways that the anti-doping govern or like governing bodies could change. I think the way that things are right now, in my opinion, it's pretty broken, and I don't think people are really aware of the details of like what goes into going through that process. Yeah, I think just bringing more awareness around it, and end goal, hoping that things can change. Because like even now, I still have athletes in other sports reaching out to me. That's like, hey, this happened to me. Like, do you have any advice? And I'm just like, this is still happening, and like, I don't know. It's interesting because the with like the anti-doping governing bodies, people are always going to distrust the athlete, right? So it's like, what a good place to hide to like, you know, if things aren't going, if you're not like handling situations the best that you could or in a right and wrong way, like people will always distrust the athlete, and that's like a really interesting spot to be in for those governing bodies. So it's like, I think personally, I think things need to change. I think there needs to be more accountability on those governing bodies to get it right. There needs to be more transparency, consistency with procedures. Like as you're like, there's a lot of stuff that are like cases popping up right now where it's just like they don't always make sense, or like it's not consistent, and that's really tough to watch. But yeah, I definitely think things could get better, and I hope to take advantage of opportunities to talk about it.
You mentioned kind of the morbid comment to me, which reminded me of a quote I brought up on the podcast with someone else a few episodes ago. And it's a quote from
Yeah.
Alex Hormozy. He said it a year ago, so technically it should be 12 or 24 months, but you'll get the gist of what he said. So he said, the Queen of Elizabeth, or the Queen of England died. I was going to say the Queen of Elizabeth, not that. The Queen of England died 12 months ago. She ruled a nation and accumulated more wealth than 99.99% of humans. And yet you haven't thought about her except for this post. You're going to die. Everyone will move on. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Which
No,
is
that's a
morbid, but
great
it's
quote.
true.
It's true. And it's like it's morbid, but it's also kind of freeing in a way where it's like, I don't know, like why am I putting so much pressure on myself to do all of these different things? Like it doesn't like totally matter. There's a lot more things that matter in life, and yeah, I don't know. I do like that quote though.
Okay, so coming back in January, have you sat down and started to sketch out the beginnings of what a season could look like? And if so, can you drop any tea for the listener of what they can expect to see from you, or where they
Oh,
can
that's
expect to see you?
yeah, that's a great question. I you would think that I have, but no, I have not like sat down and like written out a schedule yet. I know I would love to start racing like immediately, like day one. I don't know if there is a race available. If we can just put one on, I would love to do that. Um, my I guess my big goal, I would love to go after the world record in the indoor mile. That's like that's what I like to think. Like I want my first race to be. Whether or not that's gonna happen, I don't know. We'll see if my body will cooperate with me. See if that's something that I'm capable of doing. Um, Hopefully, I'm healthy, ready to go. But yeah, I mean that's a like a little goal that I guess it's not little, but it's a goal that I have in the back of my head that I've kind of been like, I don't know, playing with for over a year now. Outside of that, I think just really I want to have a good year. I want to get back to where I was. I feel like I said, I feel like I was just scratching the surface of like what I felt like I was capable of. Um, and maybe I won't really ever find out, those what I'm capable of in those like peak ages, I guess, because I lost that time, but I can at least find out what I might be capable of at age 31 and on. So, yeah, but main goal is like I really just want to have fun, get back into it, and enjoy what I'm doing. Hopefully, run fast.
What is the world record in the indoor mile, out of curiosity, and who holds it?
Oh, I don't know who
I
holds
should
it.
know this.
I I want to say it's like 413. I have it's like 412 or 413. I have 410 in my mind. That's like my
Jeez.
goal. Of I think
You're
that's
not
like I
human,
mean it's
Shelby.
I don't like I said I don't know if I'm capable of, but like I'm gonna find out, right? Like I that's the number I have in my mind. We'll see if I can get there. But yeah, no, we'll see. That'll be fun.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. How much of that is because, like, okay, the average season, right? Well, I guess Jerry kind of did a little bit differently with you guys back in the day. A lot of times you guys would go balls to the wall first race, but a lot of coaches and programs, it's like, first race, rust buster, like, let's just get data and go from there. You're, you're thinking world record attempt, first race back. Again,
Oh yeah.
obviously you've said it could change. How much of that is purely fueled by, like, as you said, I want to make a statement. Like, I've been gone. This is my coming out party, and I want my coming out party to not be a rust buster effort.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm, like, saying, like, that's what I would like for like to happen. We'll see what actually happens. I haven't raced in 4 years, so, I haven't run that fast in 4 years either. I've been doing time trials, and I feel like I've been around what, you know, uh like, I've been training, like, around, like, maybe, like, 80, 85%, so I've been taking it down a little bit, but, like, I still feel like I'm in good shape, and I've hit fast times, just not that fast. So it's yeah, it might not be the first race back. Maybe I need to do a Rust Buster time trial before that to get ready, but I don't really know what it's going to look like yet. I hope that's something that I'm capable of, but maybe yeah, I think that's where it goes back to too, where I was saying like I need to also give myself grace that like yeah, maybe this won't happen and first time back, maybe it doesn't happen at all. Maybe I get hurt. But like those are just kind of the goals that I have in the back of my head. So we'll see what happens.
You mentioned training at kind of like 85%. Can you take me through some of your training over the past 3 years and what that strategy has been like to put yourself in a good position for when you ultimately come back while also not burning yourself out during that time away?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty much everything I'm doing is on Strava, so it's like not a secret. I think I've taken the intensity and volume of my work down a little bit. I've not been great about like consistently going to the gym and like working on that stuff. So there's like things that I could clean up and like really dial in. I have still been going to altitude camps by myself just to like stay in that routine. But yeah, I think it's also hard that I found it's hard to get like really get the most out of yourself when you're training by yourself. It's been much easier to do that when I'm training with people, and so I've been training alone for the last 4 years, which has been really difficult. So it's like making the workouts even more hard. So yeah, I mean, I think I've done what I could. I've been trying to find that line of I'm still training at a high level, still getting like still pretty fit, but also not pushing it so hard that I'm breaking myself. Because yeah, the big goal is to stay healthy so that I can come back 4 years and have a really long career. So it's just kind of been finding that balance of um, how hard can I train with the least amount of work, I guess. Yeah.
If I can ask this, what's the situation with Nike, Bowerman? Will like we see you in a different kit come the new year? Is it completely independent? Do you get training partners? What does that whole situation look like?
Yeah, I don't know yet, to be honest. Like, conversations are like kind of beginning to happen. Um, I don't know what I want either, totally. Like obviously going back to Bowerman, I is on my list. I love those people and like that's my family. Um, but like I don't love Oregon, like living in Oregon. I'm a sun person. I like being in the sun. So it's like it's going back to Eugene or like I guess going to Eugene for the first time. Um, it doesn't sound super exciting to me. Uh, Staying like my happy place kind of is like Arizona, obviously, because it's like always sunny there. So I would love to live in Arizona, train in Arizona. But yeah, I think there's just like pros and cons to every option, and I just don't even know what are options. Like, I don't know what training groups want to have me or don't want to have me, what shoe companies are interested in me, not interested. So I think the conversations like really just need to start happening and then kind of go from there. But the biggest thing for me, I really, really want training partners. I do not want to do this by myself anymore. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been grinding by myself, trying to, make it as fun as I can, but I'm really sick of training alone. So training partners will be important.
Is there any possibility, obviously, you've been like a Nike gal your whole life. Is there any possibility you do join a different company? And if so, what are those thoughts of I mean, it would make sense with like this coming back new chapter situation, but is that weird to think at all of joining a different company outside of the one you've been with your entire career?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it's weird. Like, it's definitely, I'm open to it. Like, I'm not like, die hard Nike, I'm open to whatever opportunities come up and just trying to assess and see what I think is the best fit for me. Um, I was making a joke. I was like, well, if I wouldn't go with Nike, then I have so many clothes. I have so much stuff. So it'd be like, oh, I could just get rid of everything and like start over and like feel like I'm not carrying around all these clothes and stuff like that. So it would be like a cool or like a nice way to minimize all the things that I have. But no, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm just like I'm open to whatever. I'm not opposed to going back with Nike, but I'm also open to other opportunities as well.
When you think back to previous falls, I'm sure you think back to 8 by mile, 10 by mile on the grass with the Bowerman Babes. That's an era that kind of came to an end. What are the fond memories from that time period and some previous falls of that? And then you guys would always go to that one track and you do like hills and then like 200s or 300s on super short rest. What are the fond memories from those days?
Oh boy. Um, well, I don't know that I have any fond memories of the hill repeat now. Yeah, I don't know. I guess like just being with teammates and warming up together, having these like dumb conversations or like deep conversations, like whatever it is, joking around, working hard with people. Um, I don't know. I think just like having that sense of like community and family is the biggest thing that I miss. I don't know that any like one workout is really sticking out to me that's like, oh yeah, that was a great one. It's I just like really enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed working out with people and like being around my friends and um yeah, I don't totally miss go doing the hills and and the going to the Dunaway track, but I've even like cut that out of my like I still do hills, but I found a different hill because I just like can't go back to that one. It was hard to go there by myself and do that by myself. Like just being in the same training areas. That's why I ended up leaving Portland last year, which was good, I think, just to kind of wipe the slate clean and do something new. But yeah, it was hard to be in the same areas doing workouts, but doing it in a much different way. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, fond memories are just being with my friends, being with my people.
We've talked about, well, I want to ask you this first. So, when did your ban happen? End of 2020 or 2021?
2021. So yeah, I got notified January 14th, 2021.
Okay. So since then, shoe technology has come such a long way. Now, granted, I know you're still training. I know you're partaking in wearing shoes on runs and probably staying up to date with all of the technology. But what's the process like coming back into the sport? Like even since you've last been in the sport, there's a new Dragonfly, there's a new Air Zoom Victory. Lighter question for you here. What's the take on just like how far modern day technology has come? And I'm not looking for one of those annoying, oh, times are all affected by shoes and stuff, but just as someone who uses shoes, is it cool seeing new trainers, super shoes, like how far things have come?
Yeah, you would think that I'd stay up to date with those things, but I haven't really. So I haven't
Really?
seen like no, I haven't seen like the new
So you
dragonflies or
just wear
anything
like
like that.
old stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
I
Shelby,
I
we got to
do.
change this.
You're not the only person trying to get me to change that. No, I mean I feel like when this happened, like I kind of like stocked up on some shoes and stuff. So like just been kind of running in my stash of things. I definitely need new stuff because it's pretty worn down at this point. But yeah, I haven't really been keeping up to date on it. I see everyone wearing like the new Victories or like the super shoes, super spikes. I'm having a moral dilemma with those personally, but yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh. not to derail us, but that too. The fact that you didn't wear super shoes and oh my gosh, that whole part of your story is
Yeah,
crazy. You
I'm
know what I'm
still
talking
having a
about?
really dis
How you refused to wear the super shoes. I forgot about this. Like you refused to wear the
yeah,
super
yeah.
spikes, and you ran that 1423 and the like oldest version of Nike
2012
spikes.
Vicks, baby.
But
I
yet
still
you
have
were
them. I still
doping
wear
and
them.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
I forgot about
I
that part of your story.
like I feel like the older shoes, I don't know. I feel like they make you're actually like using your feet. Like you're I feel like the new stuff like with all of the cushioning and like bouncing you off the track, like I feel like we're not using our feet anymore.
No, we
I
aren't.
mean obviously we are, but like
I've
like
tried
it's
out there's a Hoka model and also a Brooks model, and I'm sure other shoe companies have similar models, but those are the ones that were sent to me. And the stack height is like 50 millimeters, and it's like I don't even feel like I'm running at this point. Like,
right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I
sorry.
feel like
The
you
the
can't even
funny
like
thing,
touch the ground.
no, not you don't, not at all. But it makes your legs feel good, so you can recover faster. I don't know. Yeah, but to the spikes comment, it's like the fun. Yeah, then people try to play this stupid devil's advocate of like, oh, and these just make me laugh. It's like, how dumb do you have to be to make a comment like this? And I'll probably get hate for even saying that, but again, we're embracing the hate today. Like she was doing that so that people wouldn't assume she was doping when she got caught. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
not how
mean those
dopers think, but okay.
no, I mean those with those people, I feel like you just like you can't I'll never win, you know. No, yeah, I think for me they just kind of they
Can
cross
you
the
make me a
line for
promise you'll
me.
try them,
I won't make you
please?
a promise, but I'm open to
I'll
it,
send you a
I
pair right
guess.
now if you try them for strides or something.
Yeah, no, I mean I have put them on before. I just don't really I don't love them. Like I can't feel the ground. I'm someone like I like to like
Do you look
dig
at your
into the ground and
GPS
push off
watch
the
though
ground.
when you wear them? If you look at your GPS watch, you'll notice the time is faster, and that is fun.
That's exactly why I don't want to wear them. Like why I don't know. It's just I would rather just like work harder or whatever. Like I feel like
No, 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 no,
yeah,
no. See, I'm not your
it's
coach here, but I want to see Shelby Houlihan win a U.S. title, right? To do that, you
yeah,
have to train at a certain level, and to train at that certain level, you want to utilize tools that can help you achieve that thing, right?
for sure. Yeah. And that's the
So,
moral dilemma that I'm kind of coming to at the moment of like they kind of cross my line. I feel like it's getting to a point where it's like, is it the shoes? Like I know it's not totally the shoes, obviously, but like it's just getting to the
eh,
point for me where it just
if you're
crosses
trying
the
to run
line a little bit.
413, if you're trying to run 413, I think, I think you should wear a pair.
I
I
think I
think you
could
should
do
wear a
it in
pair.
the 2012 VIX.
We might have to,
So,
well, yeah, we might have to set up a
I
bet
mean, I
before
ran
this
354
January.
in 2012 VIX, and that's like a 410 equivalent. So,
But like, I want you to blow people's socks off when you return to the track, and if that gives you an extra few seconds, hell yeah! Like, I don't care if it's mechanical doping, but it's not because we're all. And here's the difference: is when you were racing, Nike, I would generally say probably had an unfair advantage in terms of their shoes were way more technologically advanced than On, Brooks, Adidas, you name it. And so if you were with Nike, you definitely had an advantage. The term mechanical doping really doesn't exist anymore because all the companies, it's like the exact same shoe. And I'm unbiased, so I can
mhm.
say this. Like, I've tried every single super shoe from every single top company because they send them to me. And they're all basically the same thing. I go out the door and I can't not run 5 minute pace. Like it's so yeah, I don't know. But
Do you
this
think
will
that they like? Do you think it makes you faster? Like when you put them on, do you think that it's making you faster than you would have run before?
in races, I'm not entirely sure. For road races, yes. Like in Alpha Fly 3 versus a trainer, well, undoubtedly.
Well, yeah, of
For
course.
for spikes, I don't know. But I will
Yeah.
say the thing that like with Jerry's training, like the athletes are able to do so much more work in spikes because the spikes don't beat their legs up. You probably experienced this a little bit in your era of Bowerman because the Dragonflies were slowly coming onto the scene. And I think the
Hmm.
difference is you can do more work in spikes, therefore you can run faster in training, therefore you can race faster. Whereas before, it was you really only spiked up for races and specific workouts. But so basically, I think the benefit is you don't get as beat up and you can do more quality work in spikes, making your training better, which then makes your race better. Does that make sense? That was a lot of word mumble.
No, yeah, no, it definitely does. Like I definitely see the benefits of it for sure. It's just I'm being stubborn if I'm being honest. Like and like I said, like that's my more dilemma is like it feels like it crosses my line of like like I don't know, technology's like gone too far for me, but then I'm also like,
But then you would
well,
line up and you would state that wouldn't you say you're at an unfair advantage then on the line?
that's what I was gonna say, where I'm like, am I putting myself at a significant disadvantage by not wearing them? And that's where my moral dilemma is at the moment. So it's like, because
if you want to
everyone's running
race in your
so fast.
2012s and win and flex on us all, you do that, but promise me you
I
wear them in
kind of want
training.
to try.
Just at least training them. At least training them. Get benefits from
Yeah,
training and then race in your 2012s. I don't know.
yeah. I think it also goes back. I just like don't like the way they feel either. But like,
Really?
yeah, no,
What?
yeah, because I can't touch the ground. I don't like not
Oh.
being able to like feel the ground.
So you like when your Achilles and calf feels like shit the next day? Pardon my French.
They usually don't. I don't know.
Really?
I feel like I mean they get tight. Like not my Achilles, but like my calf definitely gets tight. But then it's just like then I need to foam roll more and I need to like take care of myself.
Okay. I've lost this battle.
I'm
Give me
stubborn with
10
it.
seconds. This is incentive for people to watch on YouTube. Give me 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm going to convince you. We're going to go through two different pairs of shoes that I've not used yet.
let's do it.
We have the Alpha Fly 3. Nike is not sponsoring this podcast. I would willingly bring out other models. First off, this shoe is just stunningly beautiful. But look at this. I mean, you would rip
It's
tempos
gigantic.
but it feels amazing. Like the Alpha Fly 3 is like truly revolutionary, I would say. I think this is the best shoe that's ever been made, the Alpha Fly 3. At least for like training and stuff, I think it saves your legs so well.
Yeah, I've never
that's-
worn that.
That's shoe number one. Shoe number two is the shoe you're gonna break the world record in. Also, I love the boxing. I swear I'm not being paid. I can say something negative about Nike to show it.
They do have nice boxes. Very presentable.
I haven't worn these yet, but these are the second model of the Air Zoom Victory. I really like this. This is the Bowerman prototype, and they've got like a lot of cool, like design and.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
mean they look
you'd
cool.
run 410 in these. Like, why can't you at least try this out?
I will try it. I'll like go do some strides in
Do
it
some
for
strides.
sure. But
Do
yeah,
that.
I don't know.
Do that,
the air
and then
pocket
you
in
might
them
change your mind.
Is, the air pocket in them is like I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
I think you should at least try them out.
I will try them. I just don't know if I will race in them. And
Yeah,
then
but
I'm
try
just
them.
like,
Try
am
them,
I
and I think
being
your
dumb
mind will
about it?
be. Okay, so I'll. This podcast has just turned into a debate, but that's okay. I'm all for it. Okay,
I mean,
so
I don't have like a sound debate either. Like, I don't know enough like scientifically how the shoes work, what they do. Like, I'm definitely
you sound like a
naive in
70-year-old
it.
man who
Oh,
does not want to
100%.
get with the
If we
times.
could all just run and race barefoot on a dirt track, that would be
Cinder
my
track.
way to go. Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday you do 6x1200 with 1 minute rest. Okay, you go 357, 353, 353, 352, 351, 345. Those times would all be faster. You would feel much better doing them. And then today you do a 9.29 mile run at 6:19 a.m. Crazy hours. I was still sleeping.
I had an 8 a.m. meeting.
Okay, fair. At 7:45 pace, you would have felt much better this morning. Your easy run would have been faster, and you would have been able to get more quality mileage in. And I'm sure you learned this from working with Jerry, but all of training is how much quality can we get in while riding the fine line of not getting injured. And super shoes allow you to ride that fine line way higher than it would be. It like ups the ceiling.
I guess I can see that, but I'm also, my mind's going to like, well, if that's what my body needed to do is run 7:45 pace, like then I shouldn't use super shoes to make me run faster because that was
No,
my recovery pace today.
Yes, you wear normal shoes for the recovery run, but your body
Okay.
naturally feels
Oh,
better.
you're saying for the workout?
Yeah, I'll never wear Alpha Fly 3s for an easy run. That'll get you in
Yeah,
another
seriously.
scandal. I mean, wear them for the workouts, and then the next day your body's not as beat up. So you
Yeah,
wear
but
your
I'd rather
Vomeros.
work harder.
So then just run faster in the super shoes. Like
I mean, I
the times become
suppose.
quicker. The times
Or I
become
could just
quicker.
not wear them and I could run what my body's capable of running that day, and it's hard enough. So,
Yeah, okay. Well, if you come like half a second off of breaking the world record and I find out the next time we talk, I'm going to text you immediately after seeing that result and I'm going to say, "Did you wear super shoes in training?" And you're going to say no. I won't be a happy camper. I won't be a happy
uh,
camper. Do
yeah,
you
I mean,
do
I
you
don't
debate
know. We'll
other
see.
people on this or are they in your train? I'm very passionate about
No,
this.
no one's on my train, it seems. No, not no one, but like, yeah, a lot of people are just like pro super shoes. I feel like I am kind of one of the few people, it seems like, that doesn't love them. But yeah, like I said, like I need to probably do more research. Like I don't know enough about them to like really have a sound argument. It's just for myself. They're crossing my own moral bound, like my own moral line, where I feel like it's like becoming like, is it this person or is it the shoe that they're wearing? And like even when I was even in Doha, I got fourth and everyone else was wearing the super shoes. And Jerry's like, what if that was the difference between you getting fourth and you medaling? And I'm like, that's exactly why I don't want to wear them, because I don't want it to be the shoe that I wore. Like I want it to be like I could have worked harder. I could have done this differently tactically. Like, like I just like want it to be me instead of like the equipment that was on my feet.
But you make it a conversation about the shoes the minute you don't wear the shoes. You see what I'm saying? If you wore the same
I
shoes and
mean,
got fourth, then it wouldn't have been a conversation. But you put yourself in an awkward position by wearing different shoes, and now you'll wonder
I mean
that.
that's fair. That's fair. No, I won't wonder it because I feel like I did everything I could in that race. Like I could have maybe tactically done some things differently, but like I feel like I got the most out of myself, and I'm totally happy with that. Like, it sucked getting
Okay.
fourth because I really genuinely felt like I could medal, but I'm happy with it. I did everything I could, and I feel like that's where I'm happy. I'm happy with it. So yeah.
Fair. Let me take a different angle and approach, and we'll wrap up this debate. This is great. This was an unexpected twist to the conversation. You
I'm here
line up
for
at
it.
USA's, right? Time gets
Yeah.
thrown out the window in championship races, or maybe not for you. Maybe you're coming for it all and trying to set the world record in the US final. But let's just say you want to make the team top three. People want to make top three. It's all about top three. So it then becomes a competition, right? It's not a BU situation where you'll run a time and people will say, "What shoes was she wearing?" It's a situation of merely people will say, "Who got 1 through 3?" The beauty of all the companies coming out with super shoes is they're all generally on a level playing field and very few people speculate anymore about who has the best shoe because they're generally very similar. And tests have
Hmm.
been done to prove that. So then it's like it's a competition, right? And it becomes about beating the other person. You are at a disadvantage and making the competition not a competition by not wearing the proper things for that competition. Does that make sense? Like you're not
Yes,
I don't want to say
it
you're
does.
invalid to compete in the competition, but it's like yeah, unfair is the correct word. It's like
I guess that's where my thought is like that's the entire problem, is that if I'm not wearing the shoes, then I'm putting myself at such a disadvantage. Like
but
that's
you have to play the game yeah, so 100% agree with you. But you have to play the game
then
a little
it's
bit.
becoming about the shoes that I'm wearing. So where's the
Mm,
line?
yeah, so you're right, but you also kind of have to join the game to beat the game, if you know what I mean.
I mean, yeah, it
Like
just I feel like they fall into that gray area for me. And like I don't love the gray area. Like I feel like it's yeah, I everyone should be able to find the limit of what they are capable of, and like I don't want people to wear the shoe like I can't
so
control
you
what other people do, but yeah.
so you did that. You did that until 2021. New era of Shelby. We've already agreed to this, right? Coming back from your ban,
I'll try
figure
them.
out what you can do in dragonflies. Try for a race.
I haven't seen the new dragonflies. I actually don't mind. I mean, I guess the old dragonflies because they don't have. I don't know. I think
They don't
the
have the bubble.
the bubble's throwing me off. I don't like the bubble. Like,
You have my permission to wear the dragonflies. That's okay. You don't have to wear.
I
I
haven't seen
wore
the
the
new one, so I
dragonflies in
don't
high
know if
school.
the
That was
same
my
or
spike of choice.
yeah.
So I didn't wear the bubble
I don't
shoes.
know, but the 2012 Vicks just feel right, you know.
But you're gonna get to the point where they don't make them new anymore. You're probably gonna get out
No,
of
I have a
an.
stash pile. I have like I
Oh,
think
do
I've
you?
hoarded like 5 or 6 pairs, so I still have some. It'll get me through.
I'm coming out to
If I'm a
Beaverton.
Nike athlete, I
I'm
guess.
raiding your house,
If
taking
I'm
them
not a
away.
Nike athlete, I'm just screwed at this point. I have to make some decisions, but no. I mean, yeah, I guess I am like struggling with the concept of wearing them because like I've had the thought too of no one's gonna give a crap about what shoes I wore 20 years from now, or like, like they're just, it's not gonna be the conversation. So I'm like
And they'll
also
say that like
struggling with that.
Dragonfly proto. They'll 10 years from now they'll say that that like we'll have this conversation every 5 years, and
Yeah,
your version of the 2012 VIX is the conversation of what the Dragonflies will be in 10 years.
for sure. No,
So
I mean, yeah, I realize that I'm being stubborn about it. I know that
very
they're
stubborn.
very accepted and people use them. Everyone's using them. I'm just having my own personal moral dilemma about using them because I just want it to be me and not the shoes that I wore. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I might try them out in some strides or some workouts. We'll
Please,
see.
please. Alpha Fly 3, Vapor Fly 3, and you can go the Dragonflies. And I just want to hear your take. If nothing else, for podcast research. So next time you come on, you can talk about them.
I'm here for the podcast research. I'm
Okay.
definitely on board for that. I
I
can
love
give
it.
you that one.
I love it. Okay, getting off the spike talk. So we're in September. Also, I hope I didn't go too far. I mean all those comments and love. I just want to see you win and succeed, and I'm fired
Yeah, I
up
know.
because I don't want to see you at a disadvantage. Genuinely. I mean, would it be absolutely baller to see you win and wear 2012 VIX? 100%. Do I think you can
Yeah,
do
I would
that?
much rather do
100%.
that.
But I don't know.
I
I'd
have
rather
to
you lie.
try, right? I don't know.
That's why I
Yeah,
think you should
it
race
is.
in a Dragonfly, like do a race in a Dragonfly and do a race in a 2012 VIC. And if you
I
run
would be.
faster in
It
the
would be.
2012 VIC, it would be crazy.
It would be super interesting. Like right now, to have a race where no one wore them and see if everyone's still running as fast as they are.
Mm,
I think that would be interesting.
that would be interesting. Maybe
I
we
don't know,
should
just
challenge
throwing
some
that out
people.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. Okay, so we're in September. First race roughly in January. What are you thinking in terms of training and just like the general progression leading up to that?
I don't know. I'm not trying to like reinvent the wheel here. I'm just trying to like do what I normally do and get back into fall training, work on that aerobic strength, trying to stay healthy. I do think I need to like get a little bit back into the speed, like touch on my speed more. I've been really focused on building a lot of like I've been trying to make myself into an aerobic monster the last 4 years, and I feel like I've done actually a pretty good job of that. So we'll see what that gets me, but I do think I need to get touch back on some of that speed, get in the gym and like kind of like more power type of things. Um, so yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think the biggest thing leading into January is staying healthy, taking care of my body. Um, but yeah, I think not trying to do anything differently, just keep doing everything like I have been, I guess, and hopefully I can do that stuff with people and start kind of digging into, I don't know, pushing myself a little harder.
Is there any worry about being in 410 shape in January with the September World Championships, or have you not even thought that far?
I've thought about it actually. Yeah, no, I think it might kind of be good in some ways that it is in September because like I can kind of, have a really good like get really fit and have a good indoor season and then like there's time to take a little bit of a break. So like kind of like peaking like a couple times throughout that season, like there's enough time to do that. I think the biggest thing will be to just make sure I'm taking care of myself, staying healthy, uh, But yeah, I mean, I've thought about, yeah, having that hopefully good indoor season, taking a few weeks, maybe just as some downtime, and then like resetting and then getting ready for the outdoor season.
If we talked a year from now, so your season would be over, what would you consider a successful first year back? What would you have to do to make yourself proud?
Oh, what a great question. I should be asking myself this. Um, I'm trying to set the right goals for myself. I think, not setting too many goals that aren't really in my control. Like, obviously, like I'd love to make the world team and win a world medal, but like I can't totally control that. So I think really number one thing is having fun again with it. I want to be a lot more intentional about racing. I think with Jerry and Bowerman, like we don't race a ton. And I want to race. So like that's going to be a big thing for me. I'd like to really be intentional, race more, race the way that I want to race. I'm someone that I love going to the lead and just like hammering. And I haven't done that really in my professional career. I've been trying to work more on tactics, using not a ton of energy, staying on the inside rail and making moves when I need to. Part of me is just like I kind of want to just like say screw it and go to the front and just run hard. But I also have to be aware that I maybe can't do that every single time. I don't know, maybe I can. But yeah, I don't know. That's something I need to think about. Yeah,
Hey,
I
can't
guess
reveal the trade secrets on the
no,
pod.
I know. I'm
Competitors
just
could be
like
listening.
this is the first time I'm really thinking about it. So it's just like, yeah, I do want to just like kind of like have more races where I'm running it the way that I want to run it and going out and hammering and trying to run away from people. And if I lose, that's fine. I don't need to win every race, but I want to feel like I'm getting the most out of myself this next year, and really taking advantage of the time. I think obviously I've lost 4 years to see what I was capable of. So I really want to be intentional about taking advantage of the time, racing more, and really seeing what I can do with the time that I have left. So if I can do that next year, really feel like I got the most out of myself this year and I had fun doing it, then I think that'll be a win.
One of the elephants in the room I have not addressed that I should have is events you're trying to target. Will we see you in a 10K? Will we? I mean, you're in like 30 2 years ago. Is it 15.5? Are you trying to double all in on one event?
Okay, yeah. Let's see. So I'm definitely not opposed to doing the 10K. If these are, I feel like
Steeple?
these are just, yeah, no, these are the thoughts that I have in my head. We'll see what actually happens, but I'm like, I want to do everything. I want to do an 800. I want to like, I want to do 800. I would do a marathon. Like, I want to do everything. I don't know if that's actually going to happen realistically, but I think I still feel like I have a lot left in the 1500 and just some unfinished business there. So I really would like to focus on the 15 and the 5K. I would love to try to get that 5K record back. I would love to run in like the 14 O's, if not try to break 14. I don't know if I'm capable of that, but I would like to find out if I am. 10K, I did a 10K time trial in 2022. It was horrible. Like I ran well, but it just sucked. It was eh, doing a 10K time trial is not
Mental
ideal.
torture.
I would be I would be more interested in doing it in a race. Um, I do think that like long grind pain, like that's my favorite type of pain. So I think I'll be good at the 10K. But yeah, right now I haven't had the best first experience of it.
You could run 410 somewhere at BU, first race back, and then the 10 happens always like March.
Yeah, and I think like doing those faster things are good. Like, I don't know, having that speed component helps your 10K, like the faster you are, the like those slower paces won't feel as fast in my mind. So I think they can all kind of play into each other a bit as long as I can stay healthy doing the work. Um, but yeah, no, I would love to kind of focus on the 15.5, maybe throw some 10Ks in there. I don't know. I'm just really open to like seeing where I'm at. I don't know. I don't know where I'm at, like where I was 4 years ago. Am I in the same spot? Like, will I still be able to be competitive in the 15? If I'm not, like, maybe I can move up to the 5K, 10K. I'll run the marathon. I don't really care. I would love to just do anything. I
You're just happy to
Yeah,
be
whatever I'm
back.
going to be successful at. Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to go after as many records as I can. That's what the thought I have in my head. I'm like, I want to go after every record. I don't care if it's like the 800, the marathon, road, indoor, outdoor, like off distance. I want to just see what I'm capable of and just try to see what I can do.
Filling out some of your story, really good runner growing up, ended up becoming a 2016 Olympian, American record holder in the 1500 at the World Championships in Doha, where he placed fourth, hold a world record in the 4x15. You were ranked number one in the world in 2018. You're a 13-time national champion. Story there is remarkable, right? Then you get hit with the ban. Story immediately becomes kind of one of a kind if it wasn't before. All the more interesting. And now you kind of get to write this next chapter of your story in this next year. And we've talked about on previous conversations about like, what do you want people to learn from your story and all of that, both in relation to like your successful career before the ban, as well as like during the ban specifically, like what do you want people to take away from this? What are some things you want to write about your story in this next chapter? And what are some things you want people to take away from this kind of comeback tour in 2025?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I really would love to see things change. Um, I, like I said, I think things could be better. I think the anti-doping like governing bodies could do a better job of like maybe having more accountability in those cases where it is could be possible contamination. I think it's hard that the athlete has 100% burden. Like, how are athletes supposed to give answers to questions that they don't have the answers themselves? It's not like the easiest thing to do. And when there is no accountability for the governing bodies to get it right, I think clean athletes are kind of falling in the cracks of and like getting punished for things that they shouldn't. Um, I don't personally agree with that. I don't think they're being handled the right way. And if I could in some way help change things to make them a little bit better and protect clean athletes, then that for me would like it would be very fulfilling and like rewarding to just see some change happen.
I love it. Well, Shelby, thank you so much for this conversation. Round 4, I think, in the books. And we'll get you back on either before the race in January or maybe just for like a 10-minute episode documenting your love of super shoes after you try them.
Yep.
But genuinely, I'm so proud of how you've carried yourself over the past few years, and it's pretty freaking awesome to sit here and talk about you racing again because I know that's what you love, that's what you loved, and that's what broke your heart because it was taken away. So people might call me cringy for sharing this quote, but they'll already hate me enough for this episode. So I saw this quote this past week, and the quote was so good. The quote is, "Your haters are out there holding their breath, waiting for you to fail. Make sure they suffocate." So go run
Oh, I
410.
love that.
Go win a national championship. I will be here supporting you every step of the way and always appreciate our conversations.
Yeah, me too. And I really appreciate you having me on. And yeah, I always love our conversations. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to kind of, yeah, talk about getting into this next year and voicing hopefully some change coming on in the track world. So I appreciate it.
And changing your mind on super shoes.
Yeah, about that.
Hopefully. Maybe.